Hello, my name is Jane Davies and I'm here at the Festival of Quilts. I'm a textile artist and I love to travel and I love to look and see at what other people are doing in textiles around the world. And I want to share with you today a method of a plaque that they do in India. And as you know, in India, their life is more basic. They don't have access to all sorts of things that we have, such as fusible webbing and freezer paper, and they have a method of applying fabric that's very simple and very easy. And I want to show you how to do the elephant here, this Indian elephant, with his decorations all the way around, and it's a very simple method. As I said, no patterns, no freezer paper, no fusible webbing. So what they do is they cut out fairly simple the elephant shape and put it onto the fabric. And then with the needle turning technique, by making a very narrow hem and pushing it down, finger pressing it, making a little slip stitch to hold it in place. And they do that all the way around the elephant, folding a little hem and then slip stitching in place with a matching cotton. They don't worry too much, by the way, if they've only got 3 legs on their elephant, it doesn't really matter. But my elephant has got 4 legs. So you just slip stitch, you turn under, you slip stitch all the way round the elephant. So when you've done that, then you're going to put the border, and there's a lovely way of making this triangular border here. These are not individual triangles, but they're one long strip. And the one long strip, a strip of fabric, you fold it, this is one I've cut earlier, you fold it in half and then you fold it into 3. And then you cut down those folds. This is one I've done earlier. And if you've done it correctly, it's a bit like cutting out paper. When you were a child, you cut out maybe snowflakes from folded paper. If you've done it correctly, you have a sort of what I call a washing line. And that's what you have at the bottom and at the top of your elephant. So you pin that in place, top and bottom, making sure that it is parallel, that it is the same either side, vertical and horizontal. You pin that in place and then you're going to make the triangle points. And the triangle points are made, here's the next one, number 3, by folding underneath. So you fold under each of those little pieces, you fold a hem at the bottom and you finger press it, you fold in the sides and you fold in the other sides to make your triangle. You put a pin in place all the way along. And then just as you did for the elephant, you slip stitch that in place, tucking underneath the fabric as you go. It's just a very simple hand stitch all the way along. When you get to the point, you use the point of your needle just to tuck that fabric, that extra fabric inside and to stitch it in place. Like that. So you work all the way along to get your zigzag line. All the fabric's there, you don't cut off any of the excess. If by any chance you haven't made a very good job of the valleys in your triangles, don't worry, because what you're going to do next is to put a piece of fabric over to make the border. And this is just a piece of fabric, a strip of fabric which I have ironed a hem on, and then I put that over the points, pin it in place, and again I slip stitch that in place. So you have a border at the top, a border at the bottom, and then you have 2 more pieces either side which then make the border for your other piece here. If you want to finish it off, you do the quilting technique of if you have your backing, a white backing or a cream backing, you pull it over, fold it, press it twice to make a neat border round the outside. What I also like to do is not just to have the fabric applique, but to put hand stitching. And so on this one here you can see I have added detail. I have put the shisha glass, the mirror glass that they use in India, but I've also added some hand stitching round the outside. Another good trick is to, if you just want to put a very narrow border of fabric round the outside before you put the next piece on, it just frames that piece rather nicely. You can keep adding more and more pieces onto the border to make it bigger and bigger. It's really up to you how big you make it. Of course, you finish it off with a decorative piece there in the middle, and you can put a thicker cord around the outside of the elephant. You can couch that down, you put the thicker cord on the top, and then you sew very small stitches to hold that in place, and you can make him a tassel for his tail, and of course the eye. And so there is your Indian elephant, very easily done, very little measuring, but fold and cut.